Now remember, proteins are bound together by several amino acids. Proteins are constructed by several amino acids coming together. Now, these can be broken. The amino acid linkages or the peptide bonds can be broken by hydrolysis, and enzymes can do this. Okay, hydrolysis. Okay, enzymes can hydrolyze proteins. Now, what is denaturation? Denaturation of proteins is to break the or disrupt the interactions. Denaturation of proteins is to disrupt the interactions that are holding secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structures together. Now, what can do this? Heat can do this. Heat can denature proteins. How does heat denature proteins? Heat can break hydrogen bonds. It can also break hydrophobic interactions between nonpolar groups. Heat can break the hydrogen bonds or hydrophobic interactions. Okay, now remember, when the denaturation is taking place, a protein that is held together like this, it becomes a long chain. So remember, the structure is getting broken up, not the individual amino acids. Okay, the individual amino acids are still linked together. So this is the difference between hydrolysis and denaturation. Denaturation is when the structure is broken but the primary sequence is still kept the same. But when you hydrolyze a protein, then the peptide bonds break. What can also cause denaturation? Acids and bases environment. Acid and base environment. So if you change the pH of the protein, okay, when the acid or base is added to a protein, the pH changes, and when the pH changes, the ionic bonds or the salt bridges that we talked about are broken. Okay, we can also denature proteins by adding organic compounds. Okay, and what will these organic compounds do? They form hydrogen bonds. They form hydrogen bonds with the individual amino acids. With individual amino acids, and as a result, what happens is that the individual amino acids cannot form hydrogen bonds with each other. Okay, so instead they form hydrogen bonds with the organic compound. So organic compound can break the hydrogen bonds in between the amino acids, and they can form hydrogen bonds with the amino acids, and that is how they are denaturing the proteins. Remember, we said there are some charges in amino acids. We talked about charges in amino acids when there is a little change in pH, right? So if you add heavy metal ions like say silver, for example, or lead, right, what they can do is they can form bonds with the charges, and that's how they are interacting with the R groups. And so R groups are not interacting among themselves, and that's how the secondary and tertiary structures are broken. Denaturation can also be caused by severe agitation. What you're doing is, by agitating the protein solution, you're breaking the bonds. Hydrogen bonds and hydrophobic interactions can be broken that way.